Alright, we're playing against Grinder A. This hand seems very good. I'm just going to keep it. Hey, how's it going, Dad Bod? Freaking love it. Alright, so we're playing against probably a relative mirror. So we're just going to go ahead and mirror them. Raugrin is the Jeskai one. The blue, red, green is Keruga, I believe. Sounds good. All right. Well, I enjoy this whole bunch of do-nothing magic. I'm just going to go ahead and play Teferi and uptick. Because I mean, it gets me on the board. They can't really necessarily punish me for it. What are they going to do? Play 4-3. So I'm going to just chill. Okay. I'm going to guess it's a Fires of Invention and something else. So I think I'm going to end up shocker. Okay, Sphinx of Foresight, that's pretty much as good as it gets for them. I think I'm gonna bounce it. And I'm going to I think I'm just gonna. Do I want to bounce the Sphinx or do I want to bounce the Fires? Because they're going to recast Fires next turn, and then they can play Kenrith or they can play something else. If they get Kenrith, they smash in for 9. If they play Elspeth, so it's either going to be Fires or Sphinx, and I really don't want either of these in play. I mean, I could be super greedy and go play second Teferi, bounce both. I think I'm going to bounce the Fires. I just don't want them to get that much of a mana advantage, but that lets them kill the Teferi. But we do have a second Teferi, so let's just go ahead and bounce the Fires here. We'll see what we draw. Draw our own Sphinx. Just kind of cute. I kind of like playing that. It puts me on board. If they want to trade, I'm more than happy to do that. If they I mean, they get a scry out of it, but I think that this just puts me in. No Dream Trawlers. Yeah, sorry, not playing any Dream Trawlers right now. That's a good card, though. I could definitely see it going in the deck. This is... Okay, just how we played it out. They play Fire into Kenrith. So they've got 5/5 and they're 4/4. I'm going to guess that Teferi's just hitting the graveyard here. So I think that we're going to let that happen, and then next turn, or on my turn, we're going to go ahead and play a Teferi and shock to be able to have up the Brazen Borrower to bounce. So I'm going to go ahead and shock in this. I'm going to play the Teferi, and I should probably, you know, produce white mana. I hear that's what good players do. We'll go ahead and bounce the Kenrith. Actually, since they can play either, I think I'd rather bounce the Sphinx with this, so that way they don't get the Scry on their upkeep. And there is a Fires for our next turn, which is going to be good with our own Kenrith, which will be nice. Okay, they get Keruga to draw some cards. And then, okay, so they're going to get a kill to Fairy for sure. I think I'm going to block their Keruga and bounce their Kenrith here. Okay, what are people's thoughts on this Narset? Draw a card, then you discard a card. When you discard non-land, deal damage equal to its CMC. I don't know that it's good. It just... I mean, I guess it's a removal spell that can get you some... I mean, I guess that's true. You do have some redundant legendaries, and it... That's interesting. Yeah, Keruga drawing 3 cards is real good. So we'll see where he points them, and then... okay, so he's putting it all at me. I think we just want to preserve a little bit of life, and we are going to bounce the Kenrith back to their hand, and we'll take 5. Then we are going to... Cavalier Flame is really good. I think we're just going to go ahead and play the Triome. We're going to hope that they don't have a way to deal with our Kenrith, and then try and hit him for a ton next turn. Hey, thank you for the follow, Big Dumb Girl. That's... I mean, that's a name. There we go. And... I think I just want to keep up a blocker so they're a little bit less likely to attack. And thank you for the follow, Dabot. That puts us up to 35. I'm only 15 off. Of course, then I need to stream a bunch, but one of these days I'll actually be doing something with Twitch. That'll be sweet. Shore cycling, just trying to find something to do. Cycling again, makes sense. And I think on my turn, I'm going to cast Keruga, Cavalier of Flame, and Okay, well, they're going to kill Kenrith. Which is kind of annoying. Makes it so I can't just kill them. Okay, so that Narset is a little bit better than I was expecting. Let him cycle through a couple of things, kill a couple of things. Gets rid of a redundant body. And we are dead. Wow. Huh. Alright. So, what do we want to do here? So, I like Elspeth Conquers Death. It answers pretty much everything they're doing. Deafening Clarion just seems like really bad, and I think I want... I think I kind of want Storm's Wrath here. Yeah, that'd be great, Sparrow. That would be a huge benefit. I would really appreciate that. I think Clarion is just so bad in this matchup. Like, it kills Bone Crusher Giants and Brazen Borrowers, but it doesn't kill any of the stuff that matters. So I think I'm gonna go... no, not Narsets. I think that's it. Just bring in a couple of Elspeths and Storm's Wrath. Storm's Wrath hits Planeswalkers. This is kind of a weird one. I don't know if Storm's Wrath is actually good enough to have in against them. I don't know if I'd rather have those or if I'd rather have the Narsets. Just because Narset makes it so they can't draw. They can't cycle twice with their cycle lands. They can't draw cards when they bounce with the fairy. They can't use Kenrith to draw cards. Alright, I've talked myself into it. We're going to do Narsets over Storm's Wrath. And we're just going to hit submit, see what happens. So, again, to anybody who's joining who hasn't watched or been around for a little bit, I have not played Standard before today, pretty much. And so this is definitely me figuring out how anything works. I think there's better sixes, especially since we get to draw 7. This is a little better, but I am kind of afraid of not having enough lands. I think with 27 lands remaining in the deck, I'm okay with keeping this, and we'll just ship the Cavalier to the bottom. Yeah. So we're just going to start with their tapped land and pass it over. Yeah, Narset for the plus ability. Sorry, I'm... there's so many things that I can focus on while I'm doing this. Narset for the plus ability seems interesting, but I don't know that... Like, it's 1 mana. Yeah, you get a gain 2 life, but if there was a 4 mana Planeswalker that said +1 gain 2 life, I'm not really interested in that. Come on, land. That's like a land in that it is not a land. Oh man, we're gonna get cooked on 2 lands here. Well, see what happens. Hopefully they just don't have a turn 4 fires and they don't do anything else useful for the rest of this game. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and play this land. Thank goodness we drew one. And then I think we're just going to pass the turn. I don't really care about dealing 2 damage to Teferi. It's not stopping them from doing anything. They get a fires and then what, Sphinx or something? Let's see what's going on. So Teferi and Sphinx, I kind of... So I'm thinking that I'm going to play Fires into Teferi. Teferi bounce Fires. Then next turn, they can keep doing whatever they want. But then the turn after that, I get to go Fires into Elspeth Conquers Death. Clear out whatever's the most threatening at that point, and go from there. So I think that's going to be the line I'm going to take here. So, Fires, Teferi, cast with Fires of Invention, and then bounce their Fires of Invention. Drawing a Bone Crusher Giant, which, alright, so I've got 4 damage that I can deal there. I don't know if Bone Crusher Giants are good enough post board. I mean, there's not really a ton of other stuff that I could bring in. Okay, so they get their... My Fires goes into my hand. They play land, and what's their 5-drop? Keruga. Okay, yeah. Holy cow, yeah, Keruga draw 4 seems real good. Keep forgetting that that's a thing. Alright, so we're going to go Fires. I need to not die here. Ugh. I also need to draw lands in order to be able to do those things. I think I'm going to play Fires and play a 4-3, just hope to be able to block their Keruga. This just seems hairy. Yeah, missing on land drops for a couple of turns is definitely putting us really far behind. If we had hit either one of those land drops, I think we'd be in a fine position, but they are just up so many cards. They're, I mean, alright, so that's 6, 11, 15. I mean, they have to have another creature or a land, which... I mean, we'll see if they do it, but it seems highly unlikely that we don't just die here. Alright. Huh. So what did we learn from this match? This deck is swingy as all get out. Bone Crusher Giant does not seem very good at all in the mirror. I think I'd rather have just about anything else. So it would have been the... yeah, I just would have brought in anything else. Those cards are just not good in the mirror. And Clarion I think also is bad. So there's 8 cards I could side out. I can side in 6. So I'd probably keep in, I don't know, a couple of Bone Crusher Giants is like maybe I can pick off something, but that was rough.